The Raleigh County Emergency Housing Center is a low-barrier shelter. That means they take people as they are within a motto of housing first. This then allows them to focus on what it takes to get their own residence established. However, as it stands now, their funding from the state has been cut by $365,000. This comes as a surprise and will require significant cuts to services as well as layoffs. The center serves all of southern West Virginia and is often at capacity. So this is an issue that will impact our whole community. NewsWatch reporter Mike Teeney attended a press briefing today at the center and has the story.
I mean, I can be honest about that. There's no shame in it. I mean, I'd be on the streets right now, probably sleeping behind a building somewhere. I mean, I have no family. I grew up in foster care my entire life.
Michael Fortune is currently living at the Raleigh County Emergency Housing Center in Beckley. The center is facing what could easily be described as a crisis. They found out a couple weeks ago that their primary operating budget, which comes from the state, has been reduced by $365,000. And yes, you heard that correctly.
The hardcore reality is we're going to go from 90 beds and being able to service 90 people to 20 beds and being able to service 20 people. We'll have a loss of staff between 5 and 7 people.
Even though the Emergency Housing Center is in Beckley, it actually serves all of southern West Virginia. And another reality is that this is going to affect the whole of our community.
Our concern is that if we are not able to house, the number of people that we currently house, that 90, that, potentially June 30th, there's going to be 70 additional unhoused individuals on the streets of Beckley.
In years past, the center applied for funding directly to the State Department of Health and Human Resources. Due to some restructuring at the state level, this year's application was to the West Virginia Coalition to End Homelessness, a nonprofit organization, and the criteria sought in the application had been modified.
Under this new criteria, all we can assume that we didn't rank like we normally do have in the past, which is challenging to understand because we have so many beds and so many clients, and it takes money to operate to service that many people.
Just last year, the state allocated around $1.1 million for emergency repairs to the housing center. Improvements were made only to be followed by a massive budget cut.
Which is why this probably hits like a gut, because it just started getting better around here. These people will give you every chance to succeed. And I would be on the streets without it. I'd be out there in the rain right now, sitting under somewhere, trying to figure out how I'm going to make my next meal or my next bit of money.
As of yet, all is not lost. There is hope that the state legislature will be able to address the funding issue before the new fiscal year on July 1st. The shelter is often full and serves a large area, which happens to be the place we all call home.
There are success stories here. I mean, Todd got out. He's one of my friends. He got a place now. I mean, my one friend, James Harris, he got out of here. These are people that have gotten out of here. It's just I couldn't even wrap my head around why they would take the funding, honestly. I've tried to think of that, but this is literally one of the only shelters in multiple counties for this area.
Reporting from Beckley, this is Mike Teeney, Newswatch 4.
The Emergency Housing Center plans to meet with the West Virginia Coalition to End Homelessness this week to discuss the dramatic cuts to the budget. NewsWatch will provide updates as they become available.